everyone, welcome to our Friday live Pilates. I'm Holly.
And I'm Jenny.
We're very excited to take you through your 45-minute mat session today. We haven't done one together before, have we?
Haven't.
Yeah, so it's very exciting. I've run out of fake tan. I need to visit the hairdresser. Jenny needs to do her nails, but I think we're all the same, so please excuse our appearance at times. One thing I was going to say is we've got push-up challenge this month.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had a copy of our push-up challenge, it should be coming into your inbox today. Otherwise, here it is. If you'd like one, just comment below and we'll make sure one gets out to you. And what is today? Today is the 6th. So we've got 12 push-ups.
Right.
You're going to do today, Jenny?
12.
So I'll let you start lying down though. So Jenny is a super mum of 3 kids. She's been roped into being the patient today. She didn't want to do the teaching, but I think
Anything that allows me to lie down.
anything that allows you to lie down. But I think you are worse off being the patient because you don't know what's coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll just start off with some gentle mobility work just to get your back moving. So I'll start with your feet and knees together for me, Jen. We're actually lying on a skinny table, so Jen has her hands beside her, but you can pop your arms out to the side if that helps stability-wise. And she's just going to start taking her knees over to one side. Start quite gently, so just start with small oscillations. And we're just starting to get the back moving. Think about lubricating those stiff joints, letting all the worries of the 3 kids this morning drift from your mind, Jenny. All the aggro, all the... How did it go this morning, all right?
Yeah, we survived.
We survived. We're here.
We're here.
You've got 45 minutes, take your mind off things. Good end to the week. Get the body moving, which is always good. So just with anything, it's a very generic mat class. If you've got any injuries, then just take it easy. Nothing should be painful. If it is, please stop. Choose an exercise that is appropriate for your level. And if you're continuing to have problems, please let us know and we can guide you through something that's a little bit better for your body. Now just moving on to a few big ones, Jen. So taking the legs all the way across. So really opening up through the low back. And I've got some cheat notes over here so you will see me looking. Just in case I forget. It's unrehearsed, so she doesn't know what's coming. Good, Jen, and just come back into the middle. So I'll just take the feet apart a little bit, just so they're hip width apart. Knees are aligned with the hips, and knees are in line with the toes. So we're just going to start with some arms, relaxing through the tummy. You're just going to take a breath in, take one arm up above your head, over to touch behind you if that's comfortable, breathe out and back down. Okay, and then swap to the other side. So just alternating the arms, just getting your breathing nice and slow. And you can start to engage through your tummy if you like. So as you're lifting your arm up, just gently drawing your belly button in towards your spine, breathing out as your arm comes back down. And this is surprisingly hard, isn't it, Jen?
It is hard.
Moving your arm against gravity. And you'll notice that Jenny's body is completely still. So she's got a little gap under her spine and it's not getting bigger and it's not getting smaller. Her breath is nice and even. And her tummy up here is actually fairly relaxed. She's got a little bit of tightening in her lower tummy. Let's do 2 more each side, Jen. Good. Hopefully I'm better at counting than Caitlin. She's getting a bit of flack about her counting, but I have to say I'm no better. Okay, and last one there. So we're going to leave the arms and the upper body for the moment and switch to the lower body. Similar sort of thing. We're going to keep the body nice and still. So you've got a little bit of gap behind your spine here. We're going to keep that exactly the same. And we're just going to bring one knee up into tabletop. Okay, so we're keeping the angle of the leg the same and then dropping it back down. Okay, go to the other side. So what Jenny's not doing is she's not moving through her back. She's keeping her body nice and still. The only thing moving is her hip joint. Even her knees staying in a nice angle. So I'm actually thinking quite a bit about this exercise. If you're not thinking and your mind is wandering and it's a little bit sloppy, just need to bring your mind back to everything. Spine stays nice and still, just lifting through the leg and lowering down. With the breathing, I always say breathe in as you lift up, breathe out as you lower, If you can't get that right, don't worry, just don't hold your breath. So do whatever breathing you like is more important than trying to remember what we think is sort of the breathing that goes the right way with the exercise. And Jenny's going to try a little bit harder to keep her pelvis still because she's rocking from side to side a little bit. Jenny has had a baby recently, so we will forgive her for that. Still got a little bit of rehab to go. Good. And legs have a little bit of relax. We're going to do double arms overhead now. So breathing in, taking arms up above the head. Breathe out, arms come down. Good. Breathe in. Good. So we're going to do 5 arms. So we've got 3 to go. So we're just going to progressively get harder and start to bring more and more abdominals into this exercise. This is about getting our breathing right, getting that deeper abdominal connection working well, and then we're going to start to layer on the upper abdominals. I think one more, Jen, is that right?
Yep.
Good, a little bit hard with the legs now, so we're going to lift one up to tabletop, and then the other one is going to come up and join it. Okay, one leg down, other leg down. Good. Breathe in to lift. Good, keep your knee at 90 there. Second one joins it. Lower down, lower down. Now what you'll find, you keep going, Jen, as you lift the second leg, you'll need to use your tummy a little bit to bring that leg up off the floor. What I don't want you to do is I don't want your tummy to poke out, okay? So you don't want your tummy, what we call, to dome up. We want just tummy to stay nice and flat. Good. So drawing in through your belly button towards your spine, breathe in as you lift. That's better, Jen. Yes, good. So you can pop your hands on your tummy if you like. If you feel it popping up, do pay a little bit more attention, just gently drawing that belly button in towards your spine. And you can swap sides as well, Jen. So you've been leading with your right, let's lead with your left. Breathe in as you go up, breathe out as you go down. Slow it down so it doesn't need to be too fast. So we want nice and controlled. Same sort of thing, this little gap underneath your low back should stay the same. So you could, if you wanted to check, put one hand under the small of your back and one on your tummy, and we shouldn't be moving like this, and your tummy shouldn't be blowing in and out. How are you going, Jen? Okay?
That's hard.
It is when you do it properly, yeah. 2 more on that side just to make sure you're even. So when you do a lot of these exercises properly, they're actually quite hard. Well done. Okay, and rest. You okay?
Yeah, good.
Good. So we're going to start with your legs in tabletop now. So right where my recording button is where my head is. So I'm hoping it's not off the screen. Apologies if you can only see my chin. So we're starting in tabletop. Hips at 90, okay? Knees at 90. If you bring your knees into your chest, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can stay there all day. If you bring your knees far out, that's pretty hard,
yeah.
Okay? You'll hurt your hip flexors and it will hurt your back. So what you want to do is bring them to your chest, slowly take them out until you just start to feel your tummy kick in. Okay, this is a good tabletop position just when they start to kick in, okay? Now we're going to hold one leg still, we're going to tap one leg down. Good. And alternate sides and the other one. So you're actually even working when your legs are at rest. So breathing in, breathing out, okay? Every time we drop the leg down. Good. Breathe out as we lower, breathe in as we lift. Good, 6 more to go here, Jen. So if you're starting from this position where you're actually working in that rest position, it's actually quite hard because the whole time you're doing this exercise, you're working. It's not just when your leg drops down. If you start to feel it in your hip flexors, then pop your legs down and finish a little bit earlier. Otherwise, you've got 2 more to go.
Yeah, 2 more.
See, I'm not much better at counting. Great, Jen. Good. So you'll feel your tummy working after that. Okay, yes? Confirm? But you shouldn't feel your back, okay? If you can feel your back, then just go to the easier exercise of up, up, down, down, okay? We'll just do a few nice arms just to give you a little bit of a rest. Good. 2 more, breathe in, arms up. Good. Good. And we're going to combine the arms and the legs this time. So your legs go up to tabletop. Remember to find that tabletop for you. Knees in so everything's off. Start to bring them out slowly until you feel your tummy kick in. If you start to feel it in your hip flexors or back, then you take them back closer to your chest. Okay, so find the spot that's right for you. Arms to go up to the ceiling for me, Jen. A little bit of coordination here. Is the mind on? Keep your knee bent, and we're dropping the right leg down and taking the left arm behind. Yes. Good. Breathe out and breathe in. Good. Same sort of thing. This stays nice and still, and this is actually much better for you. Engaging your arms keeps your tummy in a better position. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and your shoulders are away from your ears. Good. Your back still should stay nice and still. Tummy shouldn't be sticking up. Breathing as you go. Let's do 8 more. So you should feel it in the tummy now. If it's getting too much, you can finish early. 6 to go. 5, keep on breathing, so don't hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, Jen. Take your legs out all the way for me and arms up above your head, so just stretch out through the tummy there. Poor Jen is breathing quite hard through a mask. Lucky you're at home, you don't have to wear a mask. It's amazing how easy you get used to it.
I know you do get
Yep,
used to it.
even exercising, it's fine now. How times have changed.
Yeah.
So we're going to bend the knees up, keep your feet on the floor. We're going to go into some bridging now. Just open up through the hips. So you probably want to get rid of that towel behind your head if you've got one. Okay, I always say palms face up so you're not cheating through your hands. And you're going to have, again, the knees in line with the hips and in the toes, so hip width apart. You're going to start by flattening the back. Okay, and then you're going to peel your tailbone up off the mat and rolling up one vertebrae at a time. So we're thinking about opening up through the front of the hips rather than lifting up high. Take a breath in at the top, Jen, and then we're going to roll down. So letting the spine melt down onto the mat, one level at a time. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out and roll up. Good. So you can see Jen is lifting up nice and high through her bottom, but her ribs are staying nice and relaxed. Should we do a bad one just to demonstrate, Jen?
Yeah.
So if we lift up, okay, if Jen is going past neutral and lifting up and opening through her chest, she's going to put extra pressure on her back. So she wants to just come down a little bit. Good. So keep that connection between your ribs and your hip bones and your pubic bone. And then we're rolling down. So taking a breath in at the bottom, breathe out and roll up. A breath in at the top, breathe out and roll down. Good. So we've just put this time slot in the diary for the next 3 weeks while we're in this current restricted lockdown. Fingers crossed, who knows what will happen at the end of 4 weeks? We don't know. Good. On this one, we're going to hold up the top now, Jen. Okay. Now you're going to lift your arms above your head, breathing in. Keep your arms up there, breathe out, roll, no, all the way over. Yep. Breathe out, roll down. Good. Breathe in, arms come down. Breathe out, roll up. Breathe in, arms overhead. Breathe out, roll down. Breathe in, arms down. Good. Good. So we've got a nice little flow on here. Breathe in, arms up. Good. Roll down. Good. Breathe in, arms down. 2 more of these, please. Good, Jen. Just laughing, people walk past and wave. Waving to everybody. That was 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I was too busy waving. So let's make that a little bit harder. So we won't do the arms this time. Place your palms face up for me. We're going to hold up the top and then we're going to do some marching up the top, okay, just to put a little bit more stress through one side. So you're going to, again, breathe out, and you're going to keep your pelvis nice and level. Take your weight on one side, lifting up to tabletop and down. Other side for me, let's do 2 each side. So we're trying to think we're nice and flat here, and we're going to keep the bottom at the same height if we can. So squeezing through that glute that stays behind, good. Good, and then roll down, have a rest. So 2 each side. If you're starting to feel it in your back, just go, make sure you're not going up too high. You're doing okay, Jen?
Yeah.
Can't give me a smile. Give me an eyebrow raise. She's smiling under the mask, definitely smiling under the mask. Good, let's do one more of those, please. Good. What else have I got in store for you? Oh, I know. You'd be glad you told me to do some obliques, won't you?
I did tell you. One more?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're just going to come back down to tummy again. So we'll pop this behind your head. And I've forgotten to look at the time, so I'm just going to... We're not professionals like Caitlin. Okay. Oh, I've got a watch on, so I could have looked at my watch. Anyway, all good. We're 15 minutes in, so you're a third of the way through. So you're going to pop your legs up into tabletop for me. This time we're going to do a little bit harder because we're going to take the leg out straight. Okay, longer lever, harder for the tummy, but also harder for the back if your tummy doesn't have the strength. Okay, so a few different options here. You can try and reach one leg out for me. Okay, we're going to straighten it. You could stop there, or you could go all the way down and touch your heel down onto the floor. What you're looking for is making sure you can maintain your back in a nice still position. A few changes you could make. If you're struggling, flatten your back for me now. Okay, so we're pushing the back into the floor and then take the leg out. That makes it a little bit easier. It's also much easier to feel whether your back is moving. So let's keep the back flat on the floor. Let's do 3 on this leg to catch up. Okay, Jen?
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
If you're finding this still hard, even with your back flat, and find you can't either get the leg out fully, remember just to take it halfway, or the next one which you can do to make it a little bit easier is just tuck your hands under your bottom. Just allows you to work your tummy a bit harder, but keep your back nice and safe. So we're going to do alternate legs. Let's do 10. Okay, off you go. Again, we're breathing, okay? Jen breathes out, breathes in as she lifts her leg up. Breathe out as she lengthens, in as she comes up. If you can't get the breathing right, don't worry, just keep breathing. Normally link it to a movement so you don't forget, but just don't hold your breath. And Jen's just tucked her hands under her pelvis, which just helps tilt it backwards and protect her spine a little bit. Allows her to work her tummy a little bit harder, but in a fairly safe way, making sure she doesn't let her tummy lift. So also gently drawing that belly button in towards the spine. A little bit challenging when you've had 3 kids. You okay?
Yeah, it's challenging.
It is challenging. So we're just going to work on some oblique muscles now. So the oblique muscles are famous for helping us have a flat tummy. So we like these, don't we, Jen?
We do like this.
So how do we want to do it? Do we want to do hands?
Yeah, do hands and then
Okay, fantastic.
alternating.
Yeah, so when we have our hands behind the head, just bring your elbows in just so you can see them in your periphery. So you should be able to see the tip of your elbows just on the outside of your vision. So we're going to do breath in to prepare, breathe out, and we're going to take the opposite elbow towards the opposite.
Sit and twist, or
I was going to do from here and just go that way.
just like that?
Fairly rudimentary.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Good. So you notice Jen doesn't need to go all the way to touch. She's just sending this rib from this side to the hip bone on the other side. Good. Good. So almost as though she's wrapping around. She's bringing this rib cage over to this hip bone. She doesn't need to necessarily touch, but she's sending the rib cage to the hip bone, not the elbow to the knee. One more on this side. So let's do 5 on this side. Let's do 5 on the other side, Jen. Good. So So we know we need to twist and turn a lot, so it's important that we work on these muscles, and as I said, they help us to keep a nice flat tummy, which is good. Soon to be spring. Jenny will be out swimming bold and beautiful. She's now in a wetsuit.
No, I'm doing it myself.
Are you? Braver woman than me. So let's do alternate sides. Okay. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out and cross. Good. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out and cross. Good. You're much better on your right going to your left, Jen.
Yep.
Okay, so we're wrapping around through here. Good. So that's 5. You've got 5 to go. Keep the breathing going. So thinking wrapping around one side to the other and then wrapping this side here. Good. So Jen needs to work on that left one there. Good. Squeeze. One more each side, I think. Good. And relax, Jen. Excellent. Hands over your head, legs down. Just catch your breath there. I was going to make you do a chest lift as well, but we might maybe do some side lying first.
Okay.
It's a bit cruel.
No, I'm very happy to on
You're happy?
side now. I have to break.
So roll on, face the camera for me. So we're just going to do some thoracic mobility. So everyone's favourite exercise, including mine. So hips on top of each other, okay, knees are bent there, and you're aiming to almost like you're driving a nail through the hips, okay, and they need to stay there. Jen's going to take a breath in, open her hand up towards the ceiling, then she's going to breathe out and she's going to reach back behind her. She's not going to move her hips though, okay, so it's quite easy for her here because I can provide a little bit of a stop. A little bit harder at home for you, but what you can do is you actually could do this in a doorway. So you lie with your legs through the doorway, okay, in the frame holding this hip together. Maybe not now if you're here watching and it's too hard to move, but try it later on. The best exercise to do every day. Fine, if you are stiff through your thoracic, you do need to work on it every day to get it better. Otherwise we spend a lot of our lives sitting curved through our upper back, especially working at home on laptops and not ideal setups. So important to work on this every day. Great exercise to do in a break. First thing in the morning, if you're a little bit stiff waking up, pop on your side, you can do it in bed. Good. New mums also stiff through here, sitting, breastfeeding. Good, Jen. Let's do 2 more. Good. Okay, let's do the other side for thoracic. So do you want to flip your head the other way? Just roll over at home. Again, imagine your hips are on top of each other, drive a nail through there so they stay nice and still. Good. Breathing in, breathe out and open. Breathe in, come up. If you feel really stiff through there, you can stay over there for a few breaths if you like and just relax into it. Such a nice exercise. So you might feel it ideally behind the shoulder in here. You might also feel it through the front of the chest. Oh, I just moved my microphone. If you're just feeling it through the front of the chest, maybe try doing it with your arm bent. Yep, or over your head, and it will just take it more into your back. Because sometimes you're just letting your arm go rather than moving your back if it's super stiff. So there's a few different options. Find one that suits you best. This is a pretty safe exercise. You should all be doing this. This is a nice exercise. Shouldn't be feeling it in your lower back. So this should be staying nice and still and should be moving all in the upper back. So above the bra strap, above heart rate monitor level. Let's do 2 more on this side. Jenny won't want it to end. Rarely does she get time to lie down and do a stretch. Her glutes are coming next. Great. So let's stay similar to this position. So lying on her side. What I want you to do, Jen, keep the top knee bent, but I want you to straighten the bottom one for me. Okay, so we're straightening the bottom leg and just bringing it a little bit behind you. Then we're letting this leg just drop down onto here and probably just tucked in behind the ankle. Okay, so it's a little bit bent, not too bent. And we're going to roll the hips forward until that knee hits the ground. So you will need a hand in front of you. Jen's on a bit of a height, so hopefully you don't feel like you're going to fall off. If you do, you can shuffle back a little bit, but you're safe. So we're going to keep the hips the same, and we're just going to squeeze through the bottom muscles, and the knee will lift. Yes, good. So the reason I didn't say lift the knee is because I don't want her to lift the knee. I want her to think about rotating the hip, and that will just make sure you're engaging the muscles a little bit better. So it's the muscles at the back of the hips, so the glute muscles that we're working on here. We don't want the ones at the front working. So Jen's trying hard to work. So really got to keep that top hip rolled forward. So we're working against gravity. That's better, Jen. Good, and don't lift so high. So it only needs to be small, that's better. Good, and it's nice and smooth, which is good, Jen. You might find it's a little bit bumpy. Here it comes. It means the muscles getting a bit tired. It's taken you a few, so that's okay. And of course, it's Funky Tights Friday, which to us pretty much just means animal print, we've decided. So hopefully you've got your crazy tights on, or at least a bright colour to brighten our day. End of the week. Well, there's not much change to weekdays and weekend at the moment. Let's do 3 more, shall we? 3. Good, and that's really good now, Jen. That hip muscle's turned off at the front. 2. Can you feel it in your bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can't feel it in your bottom, it's probably not because you're really strong. It's probably because you're using the wrong muscles. So get someone to check you next time you're in. Perfect. You can give that muscle a little bit of a rub. So next one we're going to do, stay on this side. We're going to bend the bottom one. Yep. Straighten the top one. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to bring it back behind you, okay? And we're going to roll that top hip forward, okay? So if we're looking down above the hips, that top hip is in front of the bottom hip, okay? So leg behind you and your toes pointing to the ground. So you can see Jen's heel is going to be the highest part of her foot. She's going to drop it down behind her, so you can stay at the edge of the bed there, Jen, and lifting up, okay? Don't let it come in front. Now the reason we keep it behind us and we keep that toe down is because that will make forward with the toe up. You'll start to use those muscles at the front of the hip, which always want to work instead of our glute muscles. Good. We know having muscles in your bottom that work well are good to prevent injuries, but also key part of a lot of rehab for lower limb injuries and back pain. So we always like to work the glutes. Are you counting?
8.
8, great. Let's do 15. It was better than my stab. You're hoping I was going to say 2 more.
Yeah.
And let's do 15, because Caitlin has been doing these the last few weeks, so hopefully you've been joining either in the clinic over the week or actually accessing some of our videos in the Square One Connect library. So you can get a few sessions in. It's always good to do more than one. Helps us build our muscle tolerance a little bit more. Fantastic. So we can actually pop to the other side and we'll do your glutes. So nice having a little lackey to move your towel. So first one, remember we're lying on your side. Make sure your bottom leg is straight, but it shouldn't be in front of your body. It should be in line with your body. This foot is tucked in behind the ankle, and then let your hips roll forward until your knee touches the ground. This hand will just have to go and help you a wee bit. Keep your hips where they are, and we're rotating through the hips. We're opening through the hips. The knee lifts up as a result, but let's think about the movement coming from the hips, not the knee. Let's see how you are on this side. Yes, better. Good. Good. And Jenny's nice and relaxed up here, which is how it should be, so her shoulders aren't near her ears. She keeps her shoulder in line with her body, and this hand is just providing a little bit of support. You don't have to have it there, you could have it on your hips, but it becomes a little bit more challenging. So best off just to hold the body there, a little bit of support, and isolate that glute muscle a little bit more. 15, okay. You've learnt to count, because I'm not. Bend your bottom one for me. So switching the legs here, key to this one, remember, leg goes behind you, top hip rolls forward, toe goes down, okay? Dropping down and lifting up. Just a hip height, doesn't need to go really high. Perfect, Jen. It's amazing how heavy your leg can become when it's stretched out like this. Excellent. You feel that working hard. Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Great. So I think we're going to do 15 here. Excellent. So I always love to work abs and glutes are my favourites. So we're going to go back to some abs.
15.
Okay, fantastic. So you can give that muscle a little bit of a rub if it needs it. It's starting to die. I'm going to pop back onto your back. You can lie down on your back again. Forgot to ask you about that light that's shining in your eyes a little bit. Okay, so knees, hip width, wide, apart. I'm losing it. It's the end of the week. Hands behind your head, please. Again, elbows in your peripheral vision. And we're going to go into a chest lift. So remember, with the chest lift, we're just moving the upper body. Okay, so we've just done some mobility work through our thoracic. So it should be nice and mobile. We're not moving the lower part of the body. So your pelvis should stay nice and still. And you should keep that little gap behind your low back. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in to prepare. You're going to breathe out, and you're just going to come up through your chest a little bit. Breathe in here, and breathe out and down. So it's like a very polite crunch, okay? Breathe in to prepare, out and up, good. Breathe in at the top, breathe out and lower, okay? This part of Jenny's back is staying nice and still. Breathe in at the top, breathe out and down. So we're just bringing the chest close to the pubic bone a little bit. Mistakes you will make is you'll start to tilt your back towards you. If you're finding you can't stop that, okay, if you can't stop your pelvis tilting backwards and flattening through your back, sometimes you can straighten your legs and that helps a little bit. Again, really good to be able to differentiate between moving different parts of your spine. So if you're having problems with it, get your physio to give you some more specific exercises. Breathe in at the top. One more of these. She's dying in a face mask. Face mask not pregnant is better than face mask pregnant, right? Definitely. Yes. Yeah. That was so hard when you're pregnant wearing a mask. So we're going to add the arms in at the top now. Okay, so we take a breath in to prepare. Breathe out, coming up. Breathe in, hands to the legs. Breathe out a little bit further. Breathe in, hands up behind your head. Breathe out and down. Good. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out and come up. Breathe in, hands out. Breathe out a little bit further. Good. Keep that position as you lengthen the arms up and then coming back down again. Good. Good. Breathe out and out a little bit closer. Good. Stay there. Reach up as you breathe in, breathe out and lower. 2 more of those, please, Jen. Good. As with any of the exercises, if you feel it in your back, please stop. Just do some exercises moving your knees side to side. As I said, not all of these exercises are for everyone. It's a very generic class. Anything that hurts, please stop. That was 2?
Yeah.
It can be anyway. Excellent. So you're going to take your legs out for me and arms above the head. And just stretch out through your tummy muscles a little bit. Give you a few seconds rest. And then we're going to go onto the tummy next. We might just start in a child's pose actually, Jen, just as a nice stretch the other way. So we've done a lot of work flexing up. So she's just going to relax into this position. Good. Just stay there for a few seconds. So I've still got the push-up challenge to come. So I'll keep an eye on the time because we don't want to miss that. Definitely. I should have put a clock up in front of me, but I didn't. See, Caitlin, so much better. Right, on your tummy, please. So I like to use a towel just to make sure the head is in a neutral position. It's probably almost a little bit big, that one, isn't it? Let's just unfold it a little bit. So just have a play around with it. But I really after, tuck your tag in, the head being in a neutral position and obviously giving yourself enough room to breathe and enough room for your nose to sit. So we're just going to do a little bit of work just around the shoulder blades. Great for posture. End of the week we've been sitting down working, watching the Olympics or homeschooling. So actually I might get you to do your palms facing up, Jen. Fantastic. And let's let your shoulders flop all the way down. Okay, so Jenny's letting them flop all the way down, and Jenny's shoulders are actually pretty tight. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by keeping the hands on the bed, but we're going to lift the shoulder up towards the back. Okay, so imagining you're creating a V, and then you're letting them drop down. Good. And then you're lifting them up again, squeezing the lower corners of the shoulder blades together, and then letting them drop down again. Good. Thinking nice and long through the neck. Again, not holding your breath. I'm not too worried about how you breathe, but if you'd like a breathing pattern, we're going to breathe in, shoulder blades up. Breathe out, let them go down. Good. Now these muscles are an endurance muscle, so they don't need to be really strong, but they need to have really good endurance. So they need to work all day long. So we're going to do quite a few reps. So it'll take a little while for Jenny's muscles to start to shake. We're starting to lose it on some of them now. Good. So again, staying long through the neck, so your shoulders shouldn't be lifting up towards your ears. Good. Breathe in, shoulder blades up. Breathe out and lower. Good, Jen. Let's do 3 more of those. Good. Okay, and then one more, we're squeezing up and we're going to hold up for me. Okay, so we're going to hold that there and we're going to actually now do little pulses. We're going to come probably just a third of the way down and squeeze again for 10, 9, 8, keep it in the lower part so the upper muscles shouldn't be working, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. Good. We're going to do that again. So we're going to squeeze again for me, Jen. And little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down. Well done. You okay there?
Yep.
So we're going to make it a little bit harder. So this time we're going to squeeze your shoulders back together. Then we're going to gently lift the arms up off the mat, okay? Now when we're lifting the arms up off the mat, we're not letting the shoulder go, okay? So we're keeping the shoulder back so wide through the chest, and we're just floating the arms up a little bit off the bed, and then we're going to drop them down again, okay? So it comes into a 3-part exercise. Shoulder blades together, arms lift a little bit. So when your arms lift, your shoulder blades come a little bit closer even, and then drop down and relax. Shoulders squeeze, arms lift, breathe in, breathe out and lower. Squeeze, lift, breathe in. Good, starting to get a little bit tired there. And breathe out and lower. 3 more of those. Squeeze, lift, breathe in. And lower, let go, breathe out. Good, 2 more, Jen. Well done. Good, and last one, we're going to squeeze and lift, and we're going to hold there again. A little bit harder this time, little pulses with the hands in the air. So we're going to pulse for 10. Now again, I want the pulses to come from the shoulders, not the hands, because we don't want the shoulders to lose their position. So we're pulsing shoulders back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep these muscles relaxed. 3, 2, 1. And lower down. Jen's right shoulder went wayward there a little bit. So Jen, you're going to sit back into child's pose for me now. Okay, so just get that back out of that position. Give you a little bit of a rest. Still with me?
Good.
And then Jen, I want you to come up onto all fours for me. So on your hands and knees. And we're going to just do thread the needle for me. So you're familiar with this exercise. So we're going to take the right arm up to the ceiling, look around, and then we're going to breathe out. We're going to feed through between the arm and the knee on the other side. So as we do it, we're going to rotate through the spine. So we should feel a stretch behind that shoulder blade where we're just working, but also through the spine. Good, reach up again. Breathe in, breathe out, feed through. So if you like, you can do a few breaths here, or you can keep moving with us. Breathe in, lift up, and breathe out, feed through. Good, Jen. Good, and feed through. Good, and onto the other side for me. So if you like any of these exercises, good to do afterwards if you feel you need some more reps. Otherwise, we'll keep moving. It should give you some good ideas of what you can do. It's good to move every day at the moment, if we can. Even if it's a walk, walking coffee, walking wines are a thing. Walking to the bottle shop, Jen said, yep. I just had a piece of chocolate cake. Jenny's got one out there waiting. She's going to have it after, so she wasn't sick. Good, Jen. So I think we might move on to our push-up challenge now, because we wouldn't want to miss out on that. So a few different options when we do our push-up challenge. So we can go against a wall. Okay, so we're standing up like that. We can go on our knees like Jenny. So we're just, yep, elbows stay close to the body. We can take the knees out a little bit further. Okay, yes, good. Or we can go on our toes. I'm impressed that you can do this. Oh, excellent. Which one are you going to choose, Jen? How many did we have to do? We had to do,
I think was it 12?
12. Let's do knees, I think. Yeah, because we want to keep your form. And then as we move through the month, so the challenge is to do 30 push-ups in one go in 30 days. Yesterday was a rest day, today we do 12. Tucking your bottom under. Okay, good. All right, off you go. Good. Good. 10 to go. 10. Good. So I hope you've chosen your right one. 9. 8. So you could be on your knees, could be on your toes. 7. 6. 5. 4. If you can't do them all at once, then you can also break it down into a few sets. 3. 2. Did I rob you of one? 1. And back into child's pose. That was impressive. I'd love to do them on my toes, but I'm on my knees too. If you're finding it easy, if you can easily do 12 push-ups on your toes, plus 10, so do 22 or plus 20 if you're that good. So challenges for everyone, just adjust it to how you need. I'll ask your physio. So from that position, Jen, I'm going to get you to walk your arms across to one side. Okay, and just open up through that side there. Good. And walking across to the other side. Good. And then onto your hands and knees again. So just going to do a little bit of work extending your arm and leg. So when we're in this position, a few things we need to think about. One, that we're nice and straight from your tailbone to the tip of your head. Okay, so your head isn't dangling down like a dead horse. Your chin is tucked in, okay, so you're long through the back of your neck. Your shoulders away from your ears, and you're nice and flat between your shoulder blades, so you're pushing the floor away. So we're trying to maintain this whole position through this exercise. So set yourself up well. You might need to use a mirror. And let's go straight into opposite arm, opposite leg for me, Jen. You might actually catch that bar, so I'll take that up. You're fine now. Good. Harder than it looks. Okay, so take your time, control your body. Hips stay nice and still, shoulders stay away from your ears, long through the back of your neck and straight through your spine. Good. And you don't need to go really high, just think long. So that's as long as you can and back in. Good. So thinking, just drawing that belly button just ever so gently in towards your spine. And again, breathing as we go. Good. And this is quite challenging after a few, isn't it, Jen? So pushing the floor away, think shoulders away from your ears, long through your neck. So keep checking in, keep thinking shoulders down. Let's do 2 more each side. Good, breathing as we go, breathe in, breathe out as we lengthen. Good, so nice and slow and controlled, so we're not just throwing the arms and legs out anywhere. And then into child's pose for me. Good. And you can actually manage to get a little bit of a breath up, can't you, Jen?
Yeah.
It does for me, probably for you, maybe not for everyone. So Jen, we're just going to come up into kneeling now, and we're going to take you into a hip flexor stretch. So we're just starting to get to the end now. So we're just going to come a little bit more upright. So taking the leg forward. That's right, tuck your bottom under, and so you've got a tail and you're tucking it under. And then you're just going to move forward from the hips. Good. And if you actually position your pelvis properly, you don't need to move too far forward, do you, Jen?
No.
I think we've lost your head, but... So just feeling the stretch at the front of the hip here. Good, and you can see Jen's tucked her bottom right under, which actually rotates your pelvis and makes that hip flexor a little bit easier to stretch. Good, swap sides for me, Jen. So I forgot to mention, you can pop your arm up as well if you want to stretch the muscle from the other end, and it just adds another element. And they're good to stretch for you, a little bit tight.
Great. It's good for anyone working from home.
Yep.
Sitting for long periods.
Yep. We've got 2 new mums at home, Emma and Lucy. I hope you're both watching, guys. You'll be sitting a lot at the moment breastfeeding. Good exercise to do as well, girls. Thoracic rotations. So I always like to finish in standing, and the key is finish in standing and walk away. Don't lie back down. So always I get caught in that trap. So you can probably actually stand there. And stand side on for me, Jen, and we're just going to go into a roll down. So Jen's going to think nice and tall, take a breath in. As she breathes out, she's going to take her chin to her chest, collapse through the shoulders, and she's going to let her spine roll down one at a time. Knees are soft, well done, Jen. Lengthen through the back of her legs. Take a breath in at the bottom, and then start to tuck her bottom under, and then stack the spine up one level at a time. Imagine your spine is like a chain or a strand of pearls, and just one part moves after the other. Take a breath in here, breathe out and roll down. Good, Jen. Take a breath at the bottom. So we're lengthening through the back of the legs and now tucking the bottom under, using your tummy to help draw you up. So I always like to finish in standing, because after you've done a bit of exercise on the floor, it's always nice to lie there, but it's hard to get going again. Last one. So if we finish standing up, then you should feel energized to keep going. A few more hours to 1 o'clock. 5 o'clock, isn't it, Jen? Or 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock in my house. Great. So I think you're done, Jen.
Thank you, everyone.
So thanks everyone for joining us. Any more messages?
No, just keep yourself moving.
Yep.
Keep moving every day, even if it's just a couple of stretches, a couple of exercises, just consistently every day is going to make a big difference.
Yep, we've got loads of different classes on our Square One Connect platform. There is something for everyone, so jump online onto our website and find something. If you're not sure what to do, speak to your physio and we'll be able to direct you to the right thing. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Now I have to go and turn it off.